Hey kids, Oldman shouting at clouds. Back for another week of Oldman Plays CFL Fantasy and Pick'em. This last week, Fantasy I did 111.1, 111.1. And that was with a player who didn't get any points, didn't notice the depth charts for the Montreal-Ottawa game, and had Hardy on my team even though he didn't play. So well, over 100 points, I'll take it. Pick'em, I went 3-1. So I'm 46, 26, and 2 if you count the ties in your scoring, or 48 and 26 if you count them the way the website seems to on CFL. Now, there's only 3 games this week, which will make fantasy a bit tougher. And only one game means anything, but I don't know how that game's going to turn out, so we'll have to see. Calgary and Hamilton. Bo's starting. Will he go the distance? He's a good choice at quarterback if he goes the distance, but will he? I don't know. Bell against the Calgary run defense should be good. He's starting in ahead of Butler. Calgary, Bagelson's always a good choice. They're starting Schultz, and I don't think he's worth putting in at quarterback. They do have, if you like choosing either of them, Cole Tucker and Ishmael Hyman are both out, so don't go with them. And Bridges is out for Hamilton again. He will be for the rest of this year, unfortunately, with his injury. So there's some you can think about. The next game, Ottawa at Montreal. Well, frankly, much as I hate to say it, the Chad might be the best bet at getting a full game out of a quarterback, because both these teams need this to go ahead. Whoever wins this, if Ottawa wins, I think they clinch the home field. Maybe not for the second place playoff game. Anyway, one way or another, whichever team wins this one will have a much better chance at getting second place. So they'll keep their people in and try hard for the whole game, but I just don't know what we're getting. I'm not going with any running backs out of this game because Toronto's got a darn good run defense, and LeMorin, while he's okay, he hasn't been spectacular. With Toronto, they've got some very good running backs, but they do it by committee, so you don't know who's going to get the carries or the ball. You know, usually it's been semi-safe with Kadeem Carey, but last week he went out early with back spasms. Will he even be playing much? I don't know. I would consider Polk with the Argos or Pimpleton with the Red Blacks as possibly receiver picks. We get to the Montreal and BC one. I don't trust BC because you never know what you're going to get for a quarterback and how bad they've been playing. But I may have to take Stanback just because I'm looking for another running back, and Montreal's run defense isn't good. Plus, he'll be motivated to run against them, one would hope. Now, Katoy is questionable. He's been out for 3 weeks. He's questionable, and last time he was in, Rourke was using him as a real security blanket. So you might want to go that way. With receivers, otherwise, I don't know, Mack maybe for Montreal and McInnes for BC. So I put that all together and crunched the numbers and saw what I could get, and this is where I've ended up going this week. My team's going to be Bo Levi Mitchell. I hope he gets to play the whole game. Fingers crossed. Captain and quarterback for me. I am going with Bell out of Hamilton and Stanback from BC as my running backs. My wide receiver is going to be Tim White to team up with Bo, and Polk out of Toronto. I'm hoping he gets a good game. And flex, I'll take a chance on McInnes out of BC. He's hasn't been playing as well, but he did quietly, sneakily got like 116 yards on, I think, 6 catches last week. So maybe he'll turn out well. I'm hoping so, because that's where I'm blocked in. And then my defense is the Toronto D, and that leaves me $100 left over. So you can't get much closer to spending it all. Pick'em, I'm not sure there's so much to talk about this week either. Only the 3 games, like I said. We start with Calgary at Hamilton. Both the games are out of the playoffs, but the depth charts are out, and they both look like they're going pretty much with their regular roster. Calgary has less talent than Hamilton at this point, and they're going across the country to the east, which is always a bit of a tough game, so I'm going Hamilton on that one. The Ottawa-Toronto game. This is the one game that could mean something, and you'd expect both teams will be heavily motivated to play and to win it, try and get themselves second place. Ottawa's defense does show up the way they're capable of, even though they've got some injuries, if they show up, then it could be close. But the offense hasn't been impressing me lately, and I don't see them doing better against this Toronto team. So overall, I think Toronto has a better run defense, and they have a slightly better offense than Ottawa does, and they play much better at home than they do on the road. So altogether, I think Toronto on this one. And then Montreal at BC to round out the week, the Saturday night game. And I have no idea. Will Montreal get their offense back into form? Cody's back now. Will he actually start looking more impressive than he has the last 4 or 5 games? BC's apparently going with VA. Will he give them a spark, or will he be as much of a dud as he's been when he came in for Nathan? I just don't know. The game doesn't mean anything. That's the other part of it. For BC, it's their last game of the season, so do they want to use it as a tune-up to come out on a high and figure that they got a chance in the playoffs? Can they do that after they've been thumped so badly last week and just didn't seem to give a damn? So I don't know. Montreal has more confidence. BC has more desperation. This is a gut one. I'm going to go with Montreal. So, just to recap those. The fantasy team for this week is going to be Mitchell at quarterback and captain, Bell out of Hamilton, Stanback out of Bell out of Hamilton, Stanback out of BC. I suddenly lost a year or two there. As my running backs, my wide receivers are White for Hamilton and Polk for Toronto. Flex is McGinnis for BC, and my defense is Toronto with 0.1K left over. And on the pick'em, I'm going all east. Hamilton, Toronto, Montreal. So that's it. That's my choices. If you care to take any of them, do so at your peril. We'll see how this all plays out through the weekend. Remember, before you're out of here, to hit the subscribe button. Keep these things coming your way. Share this out to anybody in your ecosystem who, whether they might like it or not, what are they going to do? They'll delete it if they don't like it. And they might like it and discover, hey, a great new show. Maybe you're doing them a favor you don't even know about. So yeah, just share it out there like that. Leave a comment. You can email me. I'll put the address down here. Oldman, one word, shoutingatclouds, one word, at Shaw, SHAW.ca. If you don't feel like leaving a comment in public, send me an email. Let me know what you think of it. And of course, if you feel like doing the comments in public, I love them. And mash that like button for me. Let everybody know how much we're all liking this. That's about it. Good luck with your stuff this weekend. I hope your fantasy does well. If you're in a league, you're probably in the playoffs now. I hope you advance. Pick 'em. We're right down to the short and curlies, as they say, so good luck there. And otherwise, until next week, get the hell off my lawn.